Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome to So Much to Talk About, episode number 103 of SMTA. And we're approaching the 2-year anniversary of So Much to Talk About. And it's always my pleasure to bring wonderful guests onto the show. And this week, once again, is no exception. This gentleman has been, definitely one of the top-notch writers, sports columnists in the country for the New York Daily News, and he's really, giving great insight into the world of boxing and football, especially. And I would like to my pleasure to present Mr. Tim Smith once again for the third time on the show, and previous 2 times are awesome. The third time's going to be even better. Tim, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me back. So, 100 shows. Are you going to syndication now?
That's right. You know what? I'm gonna hustle that.
Okay,
I'm gonna hustle that because the royalty checks.
Yes,
that's it.
They always come in the mail when you need it.
That's right. Exactly. And when you least expect it.
And when you least expect it. Yes.
But yeah, I wanted to. So much is going on in New York sports this summer, and in the boxing world as well. First, talk about boxing. One of the big news of the year: Floyd Mayweather Jr. retiring on Friday, issuing a statement, and definitely we know that he's one of the great fighters of the past 25 years, and talk about the legacy that he left, and if he needs to build that legacy a little more, just in case he comes back.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that he's coming back. I think that his legacy is not cemented yet, and that's part of the thing. I think that when he sits down and he has a chance to reflect on his career, I think that's the thing that brings him back, is that that fight, that career-defining fight isn't out there. And you could say, you could argue that maybe it was Oscar de la Hoya, but it was such a boring fight that, I'm sure he doesn't want to hang his career on that fight.
Right.
The guy obviously that's out there is Miguel Cotto, and I think he wants Miguel Cotto to sort of build his name up into this huge pay-per-view celebrity star so that they can generate a ton of money.
And starting on the 26th of July.
Starting on the 26th of July. Yeah, Antonio Margarito and Cotto, that's the first stage of this building process for Cotto, where he does try to build himself into this pay-per-view star, that would be attractive enough for Mayweather to want to fight at some point. I think that the retirement probably lasts about a year. I spoke to someone, close to Mayweather, and they said that, he's just a little tired. The guy has been fighting from the cradle, basically. When his father came home and put a pair of boxing gloves in his crib, he's been fighting since he was 8 years old, like nonstop.
And when you think ethic, and the
intensity of the whole thing. And when you think about, here's a guy that quit high school in order to, box internationally as an amateur so that he could try to make the Olympic team. So, all the things that we sort of take for granted in terms of growing up, he just sort of forewent those things, or didn't do them, so that he could become a boxing star. And I think he just really wants to live now. He really wants to live his life and do some of the things that he hasn't done. But that having been said, I think it gets old after a year. And the thing that defines him now is the thing that people want him to come to their television shows for, their WrestleManias for, or come to the table to do. The thing that got him there was the fact that he's the best boxer in the game. And without that, I don't think he's going to be sitting courtside for Lakers-Celtics NBA Finals next year. So I think that it's important for him to be a celebrity and a star. It's equally important for him to make money. And I think when it comes down to being able to make money away from boxing, he's going to find out that without boxing, it's a lot more difficult.
Titles in 5 different weight classes. Arguably one of the best 130-pounders in the history of boxing, one of the top 5, definitely. And of course, just maturing as a fighter physically, and also too, of course, he's always had the ring smart. I think the smartest fighter too, ever, one of the smartest fighters ever. Talk about your
just a naturally gifted boxer. Now, there have been some great athletes in the sport. I thought Roy Jones was probably the most athletically gifted boxer that I've ever seen. And I say that because I think you could have taken Roy out of the boxing ring and put him on the basketball court, and he could have run a point for you. You could have put him on a football field, and he could have been a cover corner or wide receiver. You could have put him on a soccer field, and he could have been, the midfielder or something. I mean, you could have taken Roy's physical, athletic, God-given athletic gifts and skills and transferred them to any other sport. and he would have been, outstanding in any of those sports. But you look at Floyd, and Floyd's whole thing is boxing. He's a textbook boxer. He does everything off the correct platform. He does everything the right way. The kid was born to be a boxer. Probably the most technically sound boxer, in the game since Sugar Ray Leonard. So, just an outstanding boxer. And probably people won't appreciate him until he is literally gone from the sport.
Right. That's always that way.
And it's always that way. It's always that way. But people won't appreciate his boxing gifts until he's gone. Going to that level between 130 and 150, the 20 pounds of difference, and being able to do it,
Huge difference.
it's just unbelievable that he could hold his own. In a modern era of boxing where, size does make a difference. 20 pounds makes a difference in the ring.
Right, and another thing, how also too the top pound for pound fighters, they've had their dry spells, and when they have their dry spells, when they get knocked out or when they lose a tough decision or cannot beat a certain fighter because of the style. Right. Floyd Mayweather never had any of those.
Never had any problems fighting any style, anything you put in front of him. He could overcome, he could beat. Now, the one thing about him, he says he never watched film, and I don't believe that.
I don't believe that either.
I do not believe he did not watch film on any of these guys. And, the thing is, whenever you talk to him, Floyd, have you ever seen this guy fight? No, never seen him fight. Roger's seen him fight. Roger's come up with the plan. I do believe that he watched a lot of tape.
Yeah.
I do, because he's a fight fan. I mean, he's a boxing fan. So I find it difficult to believe that he didn't watch any tape of any of the guys that he ever fought.
Or maybe, probably sees them live. I know he goes to see them
live. He goes to see a lot of fights.
And you see more live than...
He breaks guys down, in terms of what he wants to do against them. But he's probably one of the better guys inside the ring, just a tactician in the ring in terms of just, breaking guys down and doing what he needs to do to overcome anything that they're going to throw at him. Ricky Hatton decides that he wants to be, play rough. He wants to be nasty. He wants to be dirty. And Floyd beat him at his own game.
Right.
Roughed him up inside. Had Ricky Hatton complaining about fouls.
Exactly.
When did you ever think you would see Ricky Hatton complaining to the rep about getting fouled in a fight?
Right.
Never. And here he is complaining about, Floyd, hitting him with an elbow or hitting him behind the head or, rabbit punches or whatever. And then he gets knocked out to boot. So, Floyd beat him at his own game, and Hatton talked so much garbage before that fight.
He did. And Mayweather called him like he's a C-level fighter. Which,
Yeah.
That's sure,
Yeah.
So, actually, B-. He did give Hatton a little...
Yeah, he got Arturo Gatti no credit.
Yeah, he gave Gatti the C,
Gatti's a C-level fighder, yeah. But also, you have to remember, he was trying to build the pay-per-view.
Right, that's true.
That's
true.
So he was trying to make sure that people, the old Roy Jones trick.
Yeah, right.
Build up to make the guy into a killer. So that people will watch it or tune in. Right. Otherwise, why would I go on and say I'm gonna murder this guy? Then you're not gonna watch it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to at least make it look like this guy is, got a great shot at beating me. We all know. We all know better.